Excuse me? What? I'm gonna go see him. I'm gonna get through the subcommittee first.
Delegate Morgan, just a reminder, you are not muted.
And we're now live.
Great, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Motor Vehicle and Transportation Subcommittee here in the Maryland General Assembly. It's Thursday, March 12th, 2026. Glad to have all of you with us. A quick note on norms. We do ask that guests and advocates who join us in the Zoom room, please keep your mics and cameras off until you're asked a direct question. And a quick thank you to my Chief of Staff, Liefke Haas, for keeping the Zoom room in an orderly fashion. And thanks to our committee counsel, Patrick Tracy, for helping us with his legislative expertise. Let's get started with our agenda. We had one slight change. Today, Thursday, March 12th, we're going to review House Bill 668. That's the St. Mary's County Prohibition on Standing in Inherently Dangerous Highways. We'll go to House Bill 591, Wicomico County's Highway Pedestrian Safety Act. Then to House Bill 1113, the Bus Obstruction Monitoring Systems Bill. And then lastly, a last minute addition, House Bill 1381, stopping, standing, and parking in bike lanes. So we'll go in that order. Please remember, members, we've already discussed House Bill 668, St. Mary's County Pedestrian Safety Bill. Today, as you remember, probably, I think it was March 5th, a week ago today, we invited Delegate Morgan to talk to us about the intent of that bill. And so we got to understand why St. Mary's County needs that. And there were some other questions, but everything I believe has been answered. Patrick, did you want to walk us through this one more time?
Yeah, if Liefke could put up the reprint that I'd sent her earlier. Oh, here it is. Liefke, do you have that reprint?
Liefke, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I do. Give me just a sec.
Yep.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, this is the pedestrian safety bill for St. Mary's County. There are amendments that have been worked out with State Highway Administration, and the amendments themselves, they help out State Highway when they have to do their audits with the feds, but they don't really do anything that's not already current law. They spell out that on a state road, the county or municipal corporation in St. Mary's County will make the determination of an inherently dangerous highway in consultation with State Highway, and the same thing with the signage. They will do the signage with the approval of State Highway on state highways, on county and local roads. And St. Mary's and the municipalities, could do whatever they feel is necessary. So that's the amendment.
Okay.
It's really more of a clarifying amendment than anything else.
Okay, and that amendment language is visible where?
Page 2.
Okay, I see. Okay. Delegate Morgan, I see your hand is up as well. Delegate Morgan, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I did see the reprint. I was concerned about the part of the intent. We did speak to State Highway yesterday. I mentioned the areas where we had significant concerns. State Highway came back and said they concur and have no trouble with where our consideration of a dangerous intersection, they're in concurrence. So St. Mary's is good with the bill and the amendments.
Terrific. Thank you. Any other discussion? Delegate Al, okay, any other discussion? Any other questions?
Move the amendments, Madam Chair.
Second.
Is there a second? Thank you. The amendments have been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Is there any discussion? Any questions? Any opposition? All right,
I want to abstain because I missed all the discussion. That's okay.
okay, thank you. We're not doing roll call in subcommittee, but we appreciate your conscientiousness.
Chair, can I just say it's so lovely to see Delegate Healy back on the screen with us.
It is. Welcome
That's
back,
really
Delegate Healy. Thank you for being such a tough lady and a role model for us.
Madam
So,
Chair, Jeffrey Long's in the waiting room to come in.
thank you so much. Look at our all of our members who left. So with that,
Sorry, I don't see Delegate Long in the waiting room.
okay. Is it possible he might have the wrong Zoom link? I'll let Leafka look for him while we finish our business. So the amendments to House Bill 668 have been adopted. Do I have a motion on the bill as amended?
Move the bill, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Is there a second? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any discussion? Any opposition? All right, the bill is amended, passes. House Bill 668 as amended passes. Wonderful. More pedestrian safety for St. Mary's. Now let's move to House Bill 591, Wycomico County Pedestrian Safety Act.
All right, can I say one last thing on St. Mary's?
Yes, of course.
The St. Mary's amendments have been adopted and moved, and as soon as we get the letter, I've talked to Delegate Morgan about this, as soon as we get the letter from the delegation approving the bill as amended, it will immediately go on the full committee voting list. Now, the reason I say that specifically is because on Wycomico, this is the exact same bill and the exact same amendments will go on it, but I'm a little less far along in the process with Wycomico, still talking with their county attorney, and we'll be talking to the sponsors in the next day or so. So I think the motion is to put the same amendments on Wycomico, but they will not make the voting list for tomorrow.
Okay. So we'll be amending the Wycomico County bill in the same fashion that St. Mary's was amended. And can you just repeat the terms of that amendment in brief?
Yeah, they just required State Highway Administration consultation with respect to what areas on a state highway are determined to be inherently dangerous, and approval for signage on a state highway that has been determined inherently dangerous.
Okay. All right. Patrick, can we consider those amendments now, or do we have to have the reprint or the amendments before us?
They're the exact same thing we just saw.
Okay. Well, in that case, colleagues, we have the same amendments that were put on the St. Mary's bill. We have those same amendments before us for the Wycomico County bill. Do I have a motion on those identical amendments for this bill?
So move.
Second.
Great. Discussion. Delegate Healy, I see your hand up.
Yes, thank you. I just have a question for Patrick. This will apply to any of these amendments anywhere. And I guess I just wanted to understand if State Highway Administration admits that one of their highways is inherently dangerous, does that leave the state open to liability for lawsuits if people get hurt on it?
It's a good question. I don't know, and Nora's here, but I don't know that it would add to any liability. It could, but that is something that they considered when reviewing the amendments. I do know that.
Okay, and so they agreed to the amendments with that knowledge.
Yes, with that issue in front of them. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We have MDOT in the room. Did they want to say anything, a state highway with them?
We concur with Patrick. We're okay with that because we go through our evaluations and determine our PSAP corridors, which are roadways that need to be improved in safety for pedestrians. So we are completely okay with inherently dangerous.
Wonderful. Thank you. Does that answer your question, Delegate Healy?
It does. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we have Delegate Long back. Oh, there he is. Delegate Long. Welcome. We're happy to have you back.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just again, I apologize for my lateness. I was trying to get the right link. Are we on HB 668?
We passed HB 668 with amendments. We're now on House Bill 591, Wycomico County Pedestrian Safety Bill.
Are we in the discussion phase, or are we just discussing amendments, or the bill is amended?
we're discussing amendments. The bill
Okay.
has been amended.
Okay.
Wycomico County is in agreement and MDOT SHA is in agreement.
Well, to be fair, Wycomico County, we don't know yet. I think they
Oh,
will.
you're still in conversation with the county,
In communication, yes. That's why
who was it, the state's attorney? Who did you say?
the state's attorney and the
State's attorney.
delegation.
Sorry, forgive me, I misspoke. Thank you, Patrick.
But I don't think they're controversial amendments, so I think it'll be okay for next week.
So we just accepted amendments to House Bill 591.
It will, hopefully we'll vote the bill out and then it'll go on the next voting list.
Okay.
Not
So-
tomorrow, the next one after that.
I understand. Delegate Long, I see your hand up.
Yes, I'm sorry. I don't mean to belabor the point. Just a very quick question because I know that I missed the first bill for St. Mary's. Can I ask, are those two bills similar, Patrick?
They are, other than the names of the counties, they are exactly the same bills and the amendments will be exactly the same.
And Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes.
I'm making sure, so would they be prohibited with fill the boot campaigns? Would it be basically no group period, just nobody? Would it be similar
Nobody.
to
Any exceptions would make it unconstitutional.
Thank you. So it's blanketed. So we're not giving exceptions.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. That's all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Delegate Odom. Did you have your hand up, Delegate Odom? We can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't unmute. But is there a chance that Wycomico could come back with something other than the amendments that we just did, or they're gonna look at them in total just as they are now?
They could, and that's going to slow down their bill a little bit. But I like I said when I was talking about St. Mary's, these really aren't substantive amendments. I don't think they're going to have a problem with it.
Okay, all right.
So Patrick's in communication with the Wycomico County State's Attorney. And what we're doing here is adopting amendments and asking questions. And, this is a local bill. Okay, so what we can do here, having adopted the amendments, all those in favor say aye.
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 House Bill 591 is amended. Do I have a motion on the bill as amended?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any discussion on House Bill 591 is amended? Any opposed? All right, with that, the ayes have it. House Bill 591 as amended is passed. It will come before the full committee once Patrick's able to finalize loose ends on that bill. So thank you, everyone, for being wide awake and attentive. Next, we'll move to House Bill 1113, the Bus Obstruction Monitoring Systems Bill. And I think we have a reprint to take a look at with amendments. So we discussed this bill on March 5th, if I recall correctly. You've seen this bill before. We talked about it. It's been amended. Patrick, can you please walk us through?
Okay. The amendments are first amendments are on page 4 of 12. This was part of the discussion last week. They define the term bus stop zone. This is from MTA, so I would obviously approve it. Means the portion of roadway designated or used for loading and unloading passengers from a bus or transit vehicle, and then explicitly states that a bus stop zone includes an area for loading and unloading passengers from a bus or transit vehicle that is designated by signage or pavement markings or identified in the transit agency's published schedule or route map. A bus transit station and a transit corridor is defined in 7-101 of this article, used in conjunction with a designated bus stop. If you want,
Thank you.
they added
Thank you.
they added the definition of transit corridor on the previous page.
And Patrick, if I recall, these amendments have also been adopted in the Senate crossfile as well?
I don't know because there's been so much communication that I can't keep straight what's the latest. But I have those ones, I think, yes.
Okay.
The next ones, I suspect not. The
Okay.
next ones where we talked about last week as well, that put in the prohibition, a person may not stop, stand, or park a vehicle in a bus stop zone if a transit vehicle is present in the bus stop zone. And
I think, Patrick, don't we want to put a period after the word
yes,
bus stop
I
zone?
used the wrong word in this amendment, but yes, it should
Yeah.
strike unless the person, and then the exceptions below it, as was discussed last week.
Thank you. So we're removing exceptions. There's no stopping, standing, or parking in a bus stop zone as defined above. If a wait, are we deleting if a transit vehicle is present as well? The person may not stop, stand, or park a vehicle in a bus stop zone. Period. Then strike.
If you want to, it's the will of the subcommittee.
So that would be my recommendation, to prohibit stopping, standing, or parking. If we leave the phrase, if a vehicle is present, obviously no one can stop, stand, or park if the vehicle is present. That's physically impossible. So you can't park in a place where there's already a vehicle. So that doesn't make factual sense. And I think I'm assuming the subcommittee would agree with me on the factual reality of geometry and physics, and at least in this plane of existence. And I think that it just makes it makes sense to prohibit stopping, standing, or parking in the bus stop zone. That's the whole point of this legislation, to keep bus stops clear so that buses can move people efficiently, effectively, and rapidly. Is there any discussion on these two amendments? We're here on page 4. I see Delegate Healy. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And I this is just for discussion purposes and for question information. Just thinking about how this is a statewide bill, so there are lots of places in the state where there may be bus stops that are only used very rarely. And they could be in places where people might need to stop to let somebody off out of their vehicle so that they could go home. If it's temporary, they're not parked, they're just stopping briefly. And there's no chance that there's going to be a bus moving into that spot for like possibly days. Maybe they only run on weekends. Maybe they don't run on weekends. Maybe they run every 5 hours. There's a lot of different places. It's not like it's in a more urban area where there's a lot of buses and they're constantly going.
Mm-hmm. That's a good, legit observation. Patrick, can you, or actually, if I may call on MDOT, do you have any MTA person in the room, MDOT, to help us with that question?
Joseph is there.
Yep, I Chair Lewis. I think this may get to Delegate Healy's question, is that there wouldn't be, I think that those jurisdictions that you're referring to that have those type of bus stops that aren't frequented that often probably would not have the cameras that would enforce these anyway. So while correct, this is a statewide bill, the majority of the enforcement is going to be going on in the core service areas that MTA and WMATA also do, but those are primarily going to be in the places that have dedicated bus lanes. So if the areas that are not frequented very often by buses wouldn't have those bus lanes. So hopefully that resolves your issue, Delegate, but happy to.
No, that's fine. I just wanted an answer for the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Delegate Allen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Are we on the bill or the amendments currently? I'm sorry.
Amendments.
All right, we'll move the amendments then, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Have we looked at all the amendments, Patrick?
Yes, and can we just clarify that the amendments include those that I described, striking the exceptions, putting in the definition of bus stop zone, but also the chair's suggestion in line 9 to strike if a transit vehicle is present in the bus stop zone.
Thank you. So those are your amendments we're considering. Delegate Allen has moved the amendments. Do I have a second? I'm sorry, did I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Is there any discussion? Any wish to be recorded in opposition to the amendments? Okay, the amendments passed. Do I have a motion on the bill as amended?
Move the bill as amended.
Second.
Second, having been properly moved and seconded, House Bill 1113 as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any discussion? Any opposed? Great, thank you. Thank you, colleagues. House Bill 1113 as amended passes the subcommittee. We'll now move to House Bill 1381. This is the stopping and standing delegate guidance bill on bike lanes, bike paths. Patrick, can you walk us through this one? I do not believe this was amended.
Yes, it is.
Okay, talk us through. Thank you. Catch me.
See, we don't have it because
Oh, this is the first time we're discussing this bill in subcommittee.
and I don't have a reprint because
No, it's okay, because you're doing 59,000 other bills.
well, it just got put on.
Well, let's do,
If you give me a second, I can probably create one while you talk about it and send it to Leafco.
okay, wow, you are good. So House Bill 1381 members, we just added this a few minutes before the meeting began in an effort to tackle as much work that's awaiting us before things get super hectic next week. So House Bill 1381, we heard this bill on March 5th. So we heard it a week ago. This is the stopping, standing, or parking in a bike lane or bicycle path prohibition. We do have the bill sponsor, Vice Chair Guyton, in the room with us. Vice Chair Guyton, would you like to say a few words about the intent of this bill and remind everyone of what it's about?
Sure, absolutely. I think that the title really says it all. We don't want people parking, stopping or standing in a bike lane. There are certain exemptions in the bill. For instance, if you're dropping off someone with a disability, emergency vehicles, things like that need to be there, they can be there. We also, in this version, which the only thing that made it different from last year, and this is the amendment that Patrick is looking for actually, is this wording, is that we're giving the locals the authority to decide how long delivery trucks can stay, but they can only allow them up to 30 minutes. That was the agreement we came up with last year with the trucking companies. So this year, everybody was in favor. We had no opposition, and I don't believe there's a fiscal note.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm looking at the fiscal note for House Bill 1381. It says the bill is not anticipated to materially affect state finances or operations. There's no local effect. It will not materially affect local government finances or operations, and no small business effect. So the amendments that, I'm sorry, Vice Chair Guyton, this bill, I think it was House Bill 178, 2025. I believe that passed the House. Am I right? We passed this bill last year, or version of it.
Yes, I can't remember. Patrick, did it?
Yes, I believe so.
I think so. There were so many back and forth on it, but it all had to do with that piece that Patrick and I have now fixed. So it didn't pass all the way through, but we fixed it now. It's all good.
Okay, terrific. That just goes to show you what a little extra time can do. Yeah, this bill passed, let me make sure. Yeah, House Bill 178 of 2025 passed the House third reader, and it got referred to JPR in the Senate, but didn't move from there. And the concerns that you described have since been fixed in the amendment that's coming to us. So that is House Bill 1381. Since we're together, guys, should we have some conversation about this bill? Any questions for the sponsor who we're lucky to have with us?
I've had my hand up. My hands.
Oh,
get
sorry.
tired.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Delegate. I was reading the fiscal note.
Yeah,
Thank
my
you for your
hands getting
patience.
tired from holding it up there.
Please go ahead.
So, if I recall in the hearing, there was some questions about construction vehicles. And you just said 30 minutes. I'm just trying to get clarification on that. I know construction vehicles came up in the conversation during the hearing. And then you just said 30 minutes. So I'm just trying to understand.
Sure.
what
Sure.
it's gonna
Actually,
be.
I apologize. You were exactly right. That was not an amendment that Patrick and I worked on, but that was an amendment that was that was for delivery trucks, is the amendment that I was talking about. But
Right?
that was an amendment that was suggested during the hearing, and I think that that is a good amendment. We have not yet written that one though, Patrick. Um, uh, and in addition, we had one more from MDOT that basically wanted us to put that this applied, these exceptions applied only if there was no other parking available in that area. So if a delivery truck, for instance, parked in the double parked in the bike lane, but there was an actual space, 2 spaces up, they couldn't do that. They had to take the space. So those were the other 2 amendments that have been introduced by other people, but that I considered friendly and probably made the bill stronger. So I apologize because I don't think that we actually completed those with all the energy work.
Yeah,
Right.
I just wanted to make certain, but you're still going to offer those amendments to deal with that, right?
I think those are good amendments, yeah. So if the subcommittee wants to hear them, I say yes to those.
All right, thank
Great.
you.
Thank you, Delegate Jacobs. Your question answered for now. Okay. Delegate Long, I see you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wondering what the fee or fine or penalty scale is. If we can scroll
Thank
down to that
you.
section.
Okay.
I believe this would be just the standard default fine.
Try scrolling us down until we can see the fee.
Yeah, this would be the standard maximum 500 prepay set by the district court.
Okay. And can I just, Madam Chair, may I follow up again?
Please go ahead. Yes,
I know that you're one of our
this is the time to get your questions answered.
You're one of our car-free members, along with one
Delegate
of
Martinez.
Delegate Martinez, correct. Just curious, Patrick, do we know what, and again, I commend Madam Vice Chair and the bill sponsor for what she's trying to do. Do we know how many jurisdictions really this affects? I know that, there are certain places in Prince George's County where they're densely populated, where there are bike lanes. I know there are some in, of course, Baltimore City. I know there are some in Montgomery County. I don't really know what other counties
Thank you.
have bike lanes. I'm trying to just get a feel.
I don't think I'll be there Saturday.
I don't know how many counties have bike lanes. I'm pretty sure Ocean City does, so that would put Worcester.
Yes, they do.
I thought that Southern Maryland had some, but I might be thinking of the bike pathways there.
MDOT, can you turn on your mic and help answer the question, please?
Hi, good morning. Or good afternoon.
Long day, long day.
We live in a time vortex. I don't have the answer off the top of my head about where this would apply in your district, Delegate Long, but I'm happy to look that up and get
And
back
I'm
to you.
not asking, I thank you again, Madam Chair, and I thank you again so much. I'm not necessarily asking for the sake of my district, and I hate to be, coming back and be so talkative. I don't know why, but listen, it's just, my whole thing is I want to promote bike lanes. I want to promote how we can do explore options to reduce carbon emissions in our footprint, all those things, and of course keep people out of bike lanes and parking there. I just have a hard time with these fines, and I just I'm getting a little worried that we're just going to end up fining a bunch of people. And of course, we're leaving this up to the local jurisdictions to decide who they choose and when they do or do not want to fine somebody. And so I have a hard time with that $500 fine, but that's just me.
No, it's a maximum $500 fine. And it's set by the district court. If you can hold on before the end of this, I'll look up what the general fines are set by the district court for the other parking violations that this bill is written into.
And the fines are set locally
No,
and
no, they're set by the
is that what you're
district court.
saying? The district court? Oh, the district court. Okay.
And to be fair, again, given from my background and context where I'm from, in my jurisdiction, I have just as much confidence in the district court that I do of Donald J. Trump, respectfully. So
Well, it's not set by your district court. It's set by the district court is one entity.
Okay.
And it is set by the chief judge and the panel in the district court. It's not set by the Calvert County or St. Mary's or Prince George's. It's set in Annapolis where the core of the district court is.
Thank you for that clarification. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And I should note that, no matter how many bike lanes, how many counties have bike lanes, as Delegate Long says, he, hopes to have more. And when any county that creates bike lanes, this would apply to them. So, whatever there's there now, it applies to. Whatever's in the future, it would apply to that too.
Understood. And Madam Chair, just have one last pain-free question.
This is your time to get questions answered.
I do not like to, hold things up. I'm the one you call on to move bills. But question is, and to Madam Vice Chair, have we looked at perhaps even through this measure, finding a way to where we can accomplish what you want to accomplish, but without there being, with perhaps maybe reducing the threshold and fines, just because I think that many people, they just aren't aware. And I don't know, and I'm not learned and well versed in exactly how fines are administered and how many offenses you get, how many warnings or whatever. But I just think, again, that to incentivize education juxtaposed to just going ahead and penalizing somebody, if possible. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you're a model
May I-
citizen. You don't incur fines because you follow the rules. So you haven't experienced that.
May I address that?
Yes, please.
Chair, really quickly. I mean, that actually is the answer, right? Nobody has to pay these fines. They're not taxes, even or fees, even if our other colleagues call them that. But one thing that you said earlier, and I understand your concerns with part of your county. I get that. I've heard that before. These laws are set by the state. The only thing the county would control in this bill, the only local control they have in this bill is how long a delivery truck can stay in the lane. That's the only thing. Everything else is statewide. So they do not have that local jurisdiction for the fines or who they're going to charge or what. I just wanted to clarify that because I thought I heard you having some concerns about that. I do want to speak just generally to a lot of bills that we have in this committee right now, not just in transportation, but we have this going on in natural resources. We have this going on in almost every committee right now, right? There are certain, and Patrick can speak to this better than I can probably, but there are certain legal thresholds for what transportation fines are, and whether that is a car in a bike lane, whether it is one stuck in a bus lane, whether it's, running over people in crosswalks, whatever, that would be more, because that would be murder. But there are certain schedules that are set, right? They're set by usually, and again, Patrick might want to jump in. They're set usually by committees that decide these penalties, but the types of infractions have the same penalties. And I think we're running into problems in this committee in general and a lot of different subcommittees where we're wanting to kind of pick and choose and change penalties for things, but that puts them at, does not keep the parity with other infractions that are similar. So we just need to be very careful. If we're going to start changing it on things like this or the bus lane bills, we're going to have to start changing them on a lot of other things too. And I don't know if Patrick wants to say more about that, but this is something I'm learning a lot about right now, especially through DNR and transportation.
Yeah, that is generally the case in motor vehicle violations, is that the policy of the General Assembly has always been to let the district court set it. We set the maximums and the ranges, and the district court, which is made up, they have a committee of judges that go through this every year. It's a penalty deposit schedule.
I have that little book too.
Exactly.
I'll get copies.
Exactly. And it sets the prepay fines. Now, if you go to court, it's whatever the judge says, which could be nothing, which could be the maximum. But if you prepay it, then that's what you'll get. And I looked them up in this section for the parking violations. Most of them prepay are $50 to $60. There's some $70 ones for things like parking in handicap zones and stuff like that. The more egregious ones, parking in a tunnel, which you're not going to get in Calvert County, obviously. But so that's generally where they would end up there. It's maximum 500, but it would be set in this range.
Thank you for indulging me. I apologize for all my questions.
Please, no need to apologize. That's why we're here. Thank you. Delegate Ziegler, I see your hand up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say that Howard County has a ton of bike lanes and they're all pretty new. Some of them are the kind where they actually have poles that separate the lane from the rest of the road, which I really like, because you really can't fool around with it. But we have a lot that are just painted. And I do think that it's important with something new like that to make a statement that we mean it. You know, this is a lane for bicycles. It's not just that we paid a bunch of money to put some paint on the road. And I feel the same way about the bus stops, that in part we're trying to kind of change the conversation about what's important and who counts. And it really has been a car-centric world, and I think we're trying to equalize that a little bit.
Thank you, Delegate. Sounds like you're saying that everyone, no matter how they move, should be able to move safely.
That's
And
a nice way of saying that, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And then we can share space. There's space for all of us. Thank you. Thank you for that. I did want to ask, though, to Delegate Long's point, we often, when we impose new rules, we usually have new signage. We might do a warning period for imposing new fines and new interventions. We have a warning period, a notice period, and we have education. Is that part of this bill, Delegate Guyton? Are there provisions for the for MDOT to do that?
No, there are not.
MDOT, don't you usually implement a period of, education, warning, notice? Can you talk to us?
I think there have been times that we have had a warning period, mostly on automated speed enforcement. I candidly, Patrick, you probably know the answer to this. I don't know if that's us or MSP that promotes that, but.
Yeah, I was going to say that MDOT would have nothing to do with a warning period, because they don't enforce this. Whatever police has jurisdiction. Now, I don't think any police would be able to write a citation unless there was signage of some sort.
Who's responsible for the signage then? When those signs go up, do not park, or?
Depends on where the bike lane is.
Yeah, who owns the road?
Right, so in Baltimore City, it would be City DOT, I think. And in a different locality, it would be different. Okay.
But then Baltimore City Police would be the ones to enforce it.
That would enforce. Okay. Great. This is great conversation. So we're just digging in on this bill. We're obviously not going to be voting on it because there's still amendments that are being put together. But the conversation is very helpful. Delegate Healy.
Just, this discussion about signage, this is kind of not directly related to this bill, but I've often had a question about when local governments put up signage about parking, how truthful or how much information they're required to include. For example, like where I live, there's like neighborhood parking where you can only park for a limited number of minutes. It used to be years ago when I was on city council in Hyattsville, there was a state, I think it was in case law, that you had to allow on public streets that the public could use them for 2 hours. But the signs never said that. The sign said, this is neighborhood parking. You can't park here unless you have a sticker. And so people didn't know they had this grace period. More recently, the town that I live in reduced the 2 hours down to a half hour. I don't know what that was based on, But again, the signs don't indicate that there's any grace period. And I wondered how truthful these signs have to be, or how inclusive they should be when we have, and should this be something that we start looking at in the future about signage when local governments are enforcing parking issues?
I think
Well-
that's a great question. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't know if Nora can help here or not, but I know we do have a uniform manual on traffic signs. I don't know if it has anything about what has to be on the content of the sign. Maybe it may well. I don't know if Nora knows that. Or
Go ahead.
maybe
Go ahead, Nora.
Yeah, I don't know that it prescribes content so much as format,
right,
for the MVTCD.
right.
And certainly not like I don't think there's like a truthfulness.
Although I do think that your local jurisdiction is probably open to a lawsuit.
Somebody gets a ticket.
Yeah, or some sort of someone claiming standing says, hey, you know, your signs aren't accurate.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Healy.
So I know what you're going to do in retirement.
Retirement. I don't believe it. Thank you, guys. These are great questions. I appreciate the conversation. So are there any other questions about House Bill 1381? We'll come back to it when there are amendments before us, but this is robust. I would just say in closing then, I can see the value in having, I'm not suggesting these need to be amendments in the bill, and I'm sort of putting this forward maybe for the sake of MDOT to help us think through perhaps, or maybe to reach out to our local rights of way agencies, whoever they are. But signage, warnings, seems like we should be incorporating those provisions as well when we introduce new parking regulations, stopping or parking regulations. Okay. Any other thoughts? All right. I think that brings us to the end of our agenda. I will entertain, unless there are any other questions, any other business. All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
All right. You guys worked really hard. Thank you. We are adjourned.
Bye-bye.